Hi, you had a great question, and I love it how evolving terminology and colloquialisms and vernacular terms become new scholarship for things that we've been talking about for a long time. So I looked for the terminology that you were talking about, and I also looked for something that was related to what it might have been called in the past. And there's cues all over the place, and this is just kind of an entry-level search. So if I miss the boat, I will send you a further email and say, oh, you got to check this spot. Oh, you got to check this spot. First of all, since you had a great piece of terminology, I would put that in quotes in the library catalog. Digital blackface. The reason that I put it in quotes is so it looks for, it's a computer algorithm, and it would look for digital here and blackface there, and we might get weird search results. So if you put it in quotes, then it looks for that as a solid block of text. Library catalog, think of it as like a general store. Since this is a new terminology that's just being adopted, there's probably not a lot of stuff on it. You can see there's a bunch of zeros. Don't be put off by that. But there's articles and there's catalog. Catalog is going to include things like videos or dissertations or newspaper articles that might not show up in that sort. So I'm going to click catalog. One of the best one that starts out is this one right here. And this is an article that has full text available. When you click on it, it's going to give you a metadata, but it's also going to give you links like view online, view it here. There should be another one down here. What I would do is look through the terminology that they use and see if there's something that's an older terminology. And the one that I was thinking of was cultural appropriation or cultural misappropriation. I don't know if that shows up here, but I think when you're doing a search like this, look for how it's described. And this is another one that, since it's referring back to these older terminology, is a good place to go. Looks like it's UC Berkeley. Oh, okay, so this is like a pre-press thing. Somebody has published this in a journal, but they do a pre-press and they put it into what's called a digital repository or an institutional repository. Their subjects didn't help us, so, oh, sorry, I'm going to click on catalog. And I want to see if I can find other people talking about it before we go into some of the databases. And you'll be able to see that it's listed right here. Newspaper article, that's arbitrary. That's my text. Newspaper articles are okay. Dissertation, that's interesting, where they mention it in the full text. For what it's worth, take a look. Since it's a dissertation, it might be talking about a whole bunch of different things and then this one small piece of what you're looking for. But there's a bunch of things to look at here. Here's another article. Racism is a great term that ties many of these different themes together. Digital epidermalization. I don't know what that is. I don't think that's what we're looking for. So this is a place to go. From the Marriott Library homepage, though, you can also go to particular databases and cruise around. The ones that I would recommend are on a list on a COM research guide. If you go to Writing 2010 classes, they use Academic Search Ultimate a lot. That might be a good one. You can also go by discipline. Communication might be a good one, but also ethnic studies. Also, psychology, social sciences, sociology would be a good one too. Let me show you my favorite one in sociology, sociological abstracts. And I'm going to do 2 searches. Let's see if we can find something in sociological abstracts. Sociology is looking at culture, newer phenomenon, and things like that might not show up. So let's do cultural appropriation and African, I don't know if the hyphen matters, American and racism. Again, that's my phone. So there's 54. This might be some of the things that you would use to inform your rhetoric as you're building a case to talk about digital blackface and the newest iteration of something that's been going on for a long time. But you get to decide that, obviously. Go through these and see if this is something that covers what you were looking for. From the Marriott Library homepage, I have a bunch of databases that I would have you consider. So if you go over to Research Guides, I have a campus guide for communication. Oh, look, Johnny Clayton's a cat. And all the different topics here and all the different librarians are here. But if you type in communication, you can find the guide that I've created. And you can just click on any one of the big bolded communication words. The one, since you're, the way that you described your email, you seem like an advanced researcher. I would recommend, these are all really good, but I'd go straight to the PhD and master's, and then you can go and find validating concepts and keywords is what we just did. These are newspaper databases. This is public policy. Not a lot of pop media that's going to show up in these. Here's the communication databases that I'd recommend, but here's that sociology one and psych info. Cultural appropriation might show up more predominantly. Public policy and some of these other ones. But let me go down to high-level systematic search tools. Scopus is awesome. There's dissertations you could look at too. This is another database, but I'm going to try digital blackface. So there's nothing in there. Might be too new. That is okay. I am just going to do that single keyword. So there's 1,000, that almost sounds like a joke. There's 1,001 articles on this. But what you can do is start to mix and match keywords, or you can look and see how these things have been described in very recent articles, and you can see how they're talking about it. So there's online newspaper comments, tradition, news, discourse, all sorts of different things. You can also sort by the number of times that an article has been cited. This is really handy because you can see which articles have the greatest impact and therefore might be having the greatest impact on your research. Some of these are unrelated. This cloned sheep fetuses is not what we're looking for. Okay, here we go. Something, oh my gosh, there's a bunch of related to fetuses. There must be something tied to this. So search within results. I'm going to do media or communication with a star. Does communication or communications. Or I could do not fetal. There we go. Identity, discourse, and racial politics in pop media. Now this is from 2006. Facebook, social media, and smartphones have happened since then. But you can click on these citations and you can sort those. So since 2006, you can see which ones have had the greatest impact. And I apologize if I'm going too fast. Hopefully you can zoom back and forth. This might inform a lot of what you're looking for. So race and reality, constructions, this might be pretty good. If you want to find any of these articles, you would just click on the Find It button, and it would go back to the catalog, and it would show you what databases it might show up in. But you can also go to, so here's the list of databases it might show up in. If you ever run stuck, email me with the citation info and I can get it to you. You can also request an article via interlibrary loan for free. I hope this helps. I will chew on this for a while and see if I can think of something that is a better direction, because it feels like there should be more on this terminology, but I think that will at least get you in the ballpark of a start. Thanks for asking a question, and I hope you have a lovely afternoon. And here's hoping the snow stops for just a little while.